sorry. We'll just run the tool as it is, starting here, and I'll show you what I've been up to, how far we've come so far. It's a bit redundant. So this is the Legacy of the Wizard tool. It opens ROM. I passed a command line to it to automatically open one, but you can open one from the file menu. You can open up the map. You can double click on a room. You can edit the room any way you want. Here's the home. When I start editing, I like putting a little ladder here to get down into the dungeon faster. Speeds up testing. So in item mode, you can move items around. We could put this enemy up here. We could draw... Oh, go back into terrain mode. We could actually draw some extra platform here if we wanted. Make some of them blue if that looks cool. And then we could put these enemies up there. We can right-click on the enemy, and there's a bunch of properties. We could change colors, so that one's in palette 2. We could make them blue if we want. See, that's an option. Maybe light blue for the lighter part. I don't know. Stuff like that. Oops, that's the... Well, there's the help menu in case you forget what some of the keyboard commands do. There is a tile palette where you can see all the tiles. This particular room has a lot of empty tiles. Probably not a good room to showcase this, but there you go. You can look at a specific meta tile. Each tile is built from 4 smaller 8x8 tiles, and you can select the 4 and put them together. See, here they weren't in a block, but kind of next to each other. So they're just put together from pieces. We can show you here's Princess Selena. These ones were next to each other, but they don't have to be in your tile set. So that's like your base tile set, and then the meta tiles is these 16 by 16 pixel blocks, which are made up 4. What else is there? Oh yeah, and there's like a map properties window where there's a bunch of stuff. This stuff I need to make a little bit better. Like this should have a visual image of the tile so you can see. But you can choose the music track. I want to put a drop-down list with the names of the tracks, stuff like that, just to make this a little bit better. But right now, everything's there. You can edit it. There's 2 bytes. I don't know what they do. This one is almost never used. I'm not sure what it does, if anything. It might do nothing. But I'm still trying to figure out what the game does with it. And this one seems to control more than one thing. It might be a bit field. I think it controls music. It might control shops in some way, but I haven't figured out how. So I'll need to figure this one out eventually. So you can see like adjacent rooms, like here, that ladder connected to here. There's a menu, but you can just press Control and a cursor key to get to the next room. So that's all that. CHR, that's the name for the Nintendo, the NES, how graphics were stored. The chip was labeled as CHR. That was just their standard name. It kind of means character. So here you can see all the background tile graphics here. If you want to edit one here, you can just pixel edit whatever you want. You can also undo everything. Just undo everywhere. Everything's got an undo. Sprites are arranged differently, but you can switch to that mode. Now you can see all the foreground character sprites and stuff. So there's the family and all that good stuff. What else is there? You can import and export all of this as PNG files if you just want to edit it in a graphics editor, which I recommend instead of this rudimentary tile editor. And then we have a global properties window, which is like stuff that affects the whole game. Here's like all the drop values, like when you pick up a piece of bread, it gives you 5 health. Here's a cheat to give you 4 of every item, very good for testing. Should actually give myself a bunch of keys too, why not? Is 50 greedy? Let's go with 25. You can edit the family's stats, what they can equip. These palettes are another thing that I want to make a little nicer. I want to show you the actual colors, but right now you can just edit it as hex if you know what their standard NES hex palette values. So if you know what those are, you can actually edit their colors, but I want to put a color picker in there eventually. I already have one, like for... I think I showed it in the tile palette. So here, you know, here's the 4 colors. So you can pick a tile, and you can pick a color set. So like this tile with this color, here with the red color, you can put it here. You know what I mean? There's keyboard keys for it. You can select a tile with the cursor keys if you want. All of that. And then if you want to just like jump into a room and see it, you can hold Control Alt and click on it. It will save the ROM and open it in an emulator, whatever you've got associated with NES files. Here we'll take 7. And we've got that cheat on, so you have your pick of whatever you want to use. And we put that ladder in so we can get in quickly. But see, we've started exactly at the tile. We said, ooh, why is he high jumping? Oh, I must have edited his jump. But there we are. There's those enemies. We've moved them up there. And yeah, so that's all of that. More recently, offline, I made a credits editor, which, that's curious. Why can't I see any credits here? This worked before. Okay, I seem to have broken the credits editor, but it should render the credits as you saw them, or as you'd see them in the end game. So now I want to open... I guess I have to debug the credits thing. Let's assume that was done wrong, and then try the gray palette. There it is. Okay, I did something wrong when I assigned a new palette, but here's how the credit editor is supposed to look. So you can scroll down and see everything, and it's just a text editor because the credits are just text. So if you want to edit the credits to the game, and you should, if you make a ROM hack, you really should put attribution to what you've done in there. At least I think it's only polite. But it's all here. Like, here, I can just show you. You know, you can type whatever you want. You can even type Tron Funkin' Blow. And that'll be in the credits of the game. I don't really want to beat the game right now to show you the credits, but I think you'll just have to trust me that this would work. And also, you can hit undo and get rid of that Tron Funkin' Blow. Shouldn't have, though. That's important. Alright, so that's where I am. Next thing I want to build is this title screen editor. Okay, let's save that Tron. So I want to set that. I'm still trying to figure out how to... This is... So when you do the Control-Alt-Click to start somewhere specific in the dungeon, it has to patch the ROM. And if you want to remove that patch, I put in this little property here that it will let you remove it by setting it to true. But it feels a little unintuitive. Normally it removes itself, but if you don't save the file after you've done that, it'll be saved like that, and I don't know. So I'm thinking I'll do it differently at some point, but for now that's how it works. So, good evening, Eclipse Moon. How are you doing? I'll just save there. Okay. So before I do anything, I want to fix... Oops, no, that's not the fix. Okay. That was a test to see if the palette was what I did wrong. There it is. I typed 3F. It's definitely 30. I would have to beat the game again to verify, but it's not 3F, it's 30. 3F is black, 30 is white. The credits are white. They're not black. So 30 makes sense. So I just mistyped that. I'll have to remember to check that. I have some notes here I should write down that I need to check that. Credits. Verify palette. Pretty sure I'm correct, but anyway, that's the real fix. So just to show 30 being white, there you go. There's actually two other colors in the background palette, but you can't see the other two because, well, they're the text is just white and black. But you see how everything else is 4 colors of black, 2 colors, well, black, gray, gray, white. That's just the default gray palette that I'm using to show everything. But, okay, so let's just commit that. Fix credits palette. And we'll just do a little push. All right. So, today's task is to make a name table editor to let you edit the title screen. So, we'll start by adding a form for it. I'm gonna call it name table .C#. So, I have a little sketch of what I need, but I can show you. Here's an existing name table editor. So I'm basically just going to make a subset of this. You have palettes. You have your tile set. This would be better if you could see some tiles, but I don't have an appropriate one. I have this one, but it's not, it won't look right. This is an unused area of, or it's an unused screen worth of graphics from the game. However, the tiles don't match the screen data. Like the screen, basically, you just select each of these as a tile from the tile palette. But as you can see, it doesn't really look like much. This was unused though, so it didn't have to look like anything. I guess it was just an early version of the title screen that they threw out. And then they redid the graphics for the real title screen, and this data was just lingering in there, but I don't know what it's supposed to look like. This might actually be some text. With some deciphering, I might be able to figure out what this originally said, which might be fun. But it'd be like you'd be substituting, you know, pieces of graphics for letters. So that'd be interesting, but that's a project for the future. It doesn't have anything to do with this tool. But that's an example of what a name table editor should look like. You have your grid of tiles, you have your tile palette, and you have your colors. That's basically it. So, with that said, I need so I will need 3 picture boxes. One for the back, the main thing. I'm definitely going to need a menu. I'm definitely going to need a status bar. So here we go. Here's a menu. There's an action menu. We're going to put an undo in here. That'll be one of the first things we hook up. Pretty much everything in this has an undo. So it's a global feature though. Control Z. It's your undo. So next thing you want a status bar. There we are. And there's a label for it. And so I've been making these Courier. And then sometimes I put a tooltips one. And I give that the spring property so that it fills its space, and then I align it to the right. So that lets me put... so this I'll use for tips. They end up on the bottom of the right, and this I use for like hover over kind of information. Hi there, F.A. Hickman, how's it going? So after that, I need a picture box. This is going to be the actual background here. So I think this is going to be like 512 by 480. I think that's a sensible size. Which means I need to enlarge this form to... Oh, why'd you come all the way down here? Just needed you to... Oof. Oof. Oof! Just wanna... Let's knock off 5 pixels. There. There. Happy with that. Okay. So what's the size of this now? Straight Win32? So like everything I'm doing, you could do in Straight Win32. Like this is all Windows Forms. But if you did it through Windows Forms, like accessing every one of these properties is like a bunch of steps. like creating a structure and passing that structure to a function call, and a lot of documentation to wade through. Whereas in C#, I can see the property here, and on the form I can type .opacity equals something, and that would change the opacity thing. So it really cuts through a lot of kind of red tape in terms of interacting with WinForms. That said, it has its drawbacks. It has its advantages. I don't know. I'm trying C# for this, and it feels like it was a good choice. It's also been kind of a learning process for me. I'm just trying to... I've used C# a bit, but I felt like I could use some sharpening up on it, and this has kind of given me some good practice on that. So, as far as it goes, I think it's a good tool for this purpose. I've been happy with it. So I need 2 more picture boxes. So this one's going to be our tile palette. Our properties back. I should keep that pinned. It's hard to do this in... I guess I could hide that for the moment, and that'd give me more screen space. But trying to do this in 1280 by 720, it's kind of funny. I've been enjoying that as well, because I used to do all my coding like in DOS, in RHIDE, or like Borland Turbo C++'s IDE, and it was like 25 lines. Actually, sometimes I put it in 50 line mode, like 80 by 25 text mode. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of MSC, but I'd say like C# has, in the path from like just straight Win32, MSC was an attempt to make that go more smoothly. It comes with its own baggage, but it does accomplish that somewhat. And then C# I think is kind of like the next step, like .NET. .NET C#. It's, I don't know why there's like 2 names for the same thing, but I mean, .NET isn't technically C#. .NET is like the runtime component, and C# is just like heavily integrated with it, but you know what I mean. And .NET's had a lot of problems over the years too, but at this point it mostly works. Like it works. It's usable. That's all I care about. As long as I can do what I'm trying to do with it without too much hassle, it's all right. There's no perfect tool. Bring back Visual Basic 6. You know, in a funny way, I think Visual Basic was what made me learn C. Because I got Visual Basic 6, or I think it was 6, and because all I knew was Basic, and I was like, okay, so we've got this new computer that runs Windows, let's get Visual Basic, and I started making stuff with it. I'm like, I can't make a game with this. How do I make a game? And then I, like, there was just no way to make a game. You could make a game with WinForms, but it was horrible. And then I learned about DJGPP and just dove into that. And I got the internet around that time, and there was just so much information, and I learned C, and then later C++. And when I say later, I mean like the next day. I didn't really know what C++ did. I knew C++ as just kind of like a couple of features on top of C, but I didn't realize quite how different it was at the time. So to me, I just thought I was using like the latest version of C. That's what C++ I thought it was at first. And then much later I learned about like classes and templates and all the weird stuff it does. So 16 times 16. Okay, so it's still 256. Oh no, that's not what... Why can't I... Oh, okay, I can just drag it. I needed a size, okay. So I could make it taller. Just so it's easier to click on. But that's it. I have this empty space in the bottom of the form, but I'm not sure if there's any need to do anything about that. I feel like putting a border on this. Let's just put a border on all of them. And with the border, I think I want to nudge just a few pixels out. There. I think that looks a bit nicer. Okay. So let's... I changed the text and not the actual name of it. So that's my tips. So let's just fix all the names. Picture box 1. We'll just call that picture box because it's the main thing. Call this picture tile. And we'll call this picture palette. And get rid of the 1 on there. Like the presumption that you're gonna want, you know, it calls it menu strip 1 because you're gonna want 3 menus on here, right? I don't know. I always find that funny. And or irritating. Let's knock off... There. I think I'm happy with that. That looks nice and fairly symmetrical or whatnot. Okay, so we can bring back our Solution Explorer. Get rid of our properties. I think we're actually done editing this. Because I don't think there's anything else we're going to need to add here. Oh, except a bunch of events. So we're going to need mouse down, mouse move. Mouse down, mouse move, mouse down, mouse move. Yeah. Okay, so I just remembered what we'll need here. So we got this. We need mouse down. And then we need mouse move. And then for this, we need mouse down, mouse move. But actually, like, the last time I made a level editor for a game was my game Lizard. That I did in WX Forms, or WX Widgets, not WX Forms. There might be a component of WX Widgets called WX Forms, but I liked that. that had some really good layout uh, devices that I liked, and it was nice for laying out in code. C#, you can lay out stuff in code, but really, it's designed around, or these tools are designed around, I can show you this. It makes a designer C# file where it's hidden it by default, but it just basically writes all this boilerplate code for you based on what you did in the editor, which I guess that's fine. But it's funny, like anytime you edit something in the editor, when you look at your change list, it'll just like move things around randomly. It's really, I don't know what the word is. Capricious? It's funny. I don't know. So you don't normally edit this, but like you can edit it by hand. Yeah, okay, so it says do not modify with a code editor. Though, actually, what I do right after that, so let's just copy this line from here. At first I was setting the icon in the designer, but then I realized, then I put an icon on this program, and realized it doesn't embed one icon and use it everywhere. It embeds this same icon over and over and over again as its own resource. Like we have these resource X files. So I had like 100 copies of my hammer icon, and I had to remove them all. And then instead I just put in this line of code. Okay, I don't need the designer. Let's just close all but this. So anyhow, so I deleted all those hammer icons because there were like 15 of them here. And then you just add this line that references the resource. Accessing the resources is really nice. So like in Win32 you'd need a resource header, and you would get resource from thing. It would be a couple of lines, but here it's just a property that you can find. Like your executable is part of the thing, and you can access its resource in its kind of structure hierarchy, which is pretty nice. But it takes a while to get used to all these hierarchies. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. So yeah, I think we're ready to hook that up. So let me just enable the button. So the name table is at 1989, and then we have a little more than a kilobyte of data that follows it. So 1989 plus 480, 19860, that'd cover it. I should just say 20,000. So I just have these like enable things in case you load in something that's not the Legacy of the Wizard ROM. It won't try and do access out of bounds stuff and maybe crash. But oh, here we are. what do we call it? Name table. So I probably want to pass in this, and then I want to pass in the address of the name table. That way we could use it to load other name tables. There's only one other one in this ROM, but it's not used. So really there's just this one. But this would make it possible to edit that one. Because I wanted to play around with it just to see if I could decipher what it was meant to say. Because I have... Maybe I should show what it looks like in the other tool I have. And how I found the name tables, just briefly. So, here's our Legacy of the Wizard ROM. I'll open it with my Binxel View kind of visual data inspector. Name tables are always 32 wide, and once you type that in, it shows up right here. So you get the right alignment. Hang on. And there we go. And there's the title screen, basically, and you can see that this is something that is 32 bytes wide, like it fits the pattern. There's nothing really else in here. Like each of these is a map, so each of these is a kilobyte. So that'll end up being 32 by 32 pixels, but you can see that it's not an image. But this looks like, right, you know, that's an image. And then you have this here, and this is the unused title screen that I was talking about. And I tried viewing that, but it looks like garbage because I think the original tiles that were used to construct it were deleted. But they left the name table around in the ROM for some reason. Don't know why. So I'll need to look at that later. But for now, you got this one. This is the one we need to inspect and edit. So, title screen, show. Title screen will need to be a refresh. Okay. That's fine. So, where's my other editors here? Oh, I see. Public name table oops. How did I find that? And then now it's searching for a missed chart. Here. Alright, so I think that's everything I need to hook up, but it needs to implement ROM refresh, which was just an interface so that forms that are floating around can update each other, so I need to make it respond to if you edit the graphics tiles in the graphics tile editor, that it needs to update here. Should I use, I guess, map edit? So we just have, yeah, we have some interface here to kind of copy paste. Copy paste. So I tend to put that above the constructor. I don't know why I decided to do that, but so this doesn't matter. This one doesn't matter. And yeah, so this will be a cache and redraw, and but I haven't written those yet. And then this will be similar. So, and I just realized I missed one thing in the designer. I created an undo button, or an undo action. That one's really easy to implement. So this we're gonna do. This we're gonna do. And we'll get around to all those in a moment, but right now we're just gonna test that we can open it. So, there we go. It opens. We should probably take out the resize handle, because this isn't really meaningful to resize. The undo's there. We can close it. We need to... Oh. I need an unclose. That's why... That's why we test. There's a form... Form closing, that's what we need. So here we delete the reference. I think that's what we do. I can just... Oh, there's more. This one isn't a good example, but... There we go. So that doesn't need to be a to-do anymore. This does, though. And this needs a... Well, we need to know which character sets we're using. So, I have this written down here. Oh! Okay, I just realized something about the palettes. I might as well make this twice as high. Because it's actually two sets of palettes. And we've got a lot of unused space down there, so might as well. Yeah, I don't need this note. So this post-it note is just, I don't know if you can see anything, but that was my sketch for the name table editor that I wrote like a week ago. Just so I'd have a plan going in. Okay, so. Let's try that again. Title screen. So it's right here. If it's already open, it'll re-raise it. If it's minimized, it'll re-raise it. If it's not open, it'll open a new one. Okay, so that's working correctly now. So that's pretty good. So let's take that resize handle off there. What's it called? Sizing grip. Don't need that. You know what? If you want to resize this, I guess that's up to you. I don't think it's a problem to let people size it down smaller than is meaningful, but it's just a little weird. Yeah. I'm kind of wondering if is there some well, yeah, if you want to design a resizable layout, well, okay, so like the credits, I could show you what I did for credits. Just as an explanation. In this case, so this one has a fixed size. This takes up 100% of the remaining size. These each take up 50% of the size, and they have a fixed height. So with all those constraints, like this can resize to whatever, and it looks fine. If you do this, eventually the credits gets really squished, and that's what you get. But basically, yeah, like you could design your form to resize. It's just, I don't know, there's just extra work to do to, like I could make this half the size and I could make this half the size if it gets below a certain size or something. But you know, like, it doesn't matter. We don't need that. That's not a feature I need. So I'm not going to work on it. So yes, it can be done. Requires more design work and more thinking about how things behave when they resize. But just to show how that's accomplished, so we have a hierarchy of... Hierarchy? I always have trouble saying that word, because I never remember if it has an R or not. I think it's hierarchy. But I think people say hierarchy without the R. But I'm not sure. I could look it up in a moment. So I have table layout panels. So I have like a base layout, which is like a panel. It's just got two grid items, one on top of the other. The top grid contains this, and the bottom grid contains this. And then inside each of those, I have another table layout panel, which has two items here, side by side. And this is another table layout panel. And I can show you like the properties for this one. You have a collection. So I don't know why it's saying 33% instead of 50% for each. I should probably change that to 50 and 50, because that seems silly. But it doesn't matter. They don't have to add up to 100. It's just that's their relative weight relative to each other. That's how that one is. But this one, on the other hand, since the pixel rendering of the credits is a fixed size, stays a fixed size. So it, where is it? The third table layout panel. It also has a collection here, and here we have an absolute size, 295 pixels, and then we have a percent of 100% of what's left. And that's basically how it lays out. Oh, I guess we forgot the top one, where we have 2 rows, where, once again, so it has absolute 50 pixels for the button, and then 100% of what's left. So that's how that one's done. That's probably one of the easiest and simplest ones, but you can make more complicated layouts like that. Most UI design stuff has that kind of, you have some sort of like grid container that will shuffle things around like that. There's also the flow layout container where you can just have a series of things and it'll go as far to the right and then it'll start a new row and then it'll start a new row. I forget what else there is, but those are the 2 basic ones, I think. Table layout panel, and then you have flow layout panel. And actually in here is another flow layout panel, but I use it for its scroll bar properties. It'll automatically add scroll bars if this picture becomes too big, and then the picture, that's basically how the scrolling is accomplished. I use that in a bunch of places, like for the map here, if the map is zoomed too big for your screen, these scroll bars are automatically added by a containing flow layout panel. So it'll scroll to be able to meet the size of the picture, which is convenient. And it's doing the same thing here. So the picture's really tall, so it's added a scroll bar, which is cool. Like you could make this. Oops, I was pressing caps lock, not shift. We could cut this off here and just delete the rest, and the picture becomes very short, as you can see. And then the scroll bar disappears, but anyway. So that's how that works. Yes, it says Tron Funkin' Blow, because I wrote that in there, because I like that phrase. So yeah, so this is opening, closing, minimize, re-raised, everything I want it to do. I think I can maximize it. You can't see all of it because you can't see all of my screen. I'm only streaming part of my screen. But, okay, so back to name table. So I need I need 3 bitmaps. So one for each of the picture boxes. So I actually kind of like how I did that earlier, so I'll recreate this cur set query because that's useful. And what I do, so the NES has this sort of index pixel graphics system, like you have 4 colors, they index a palette. Instead of doing that, I convert them into RGB colors, 32-bit, and just keep a cache of, since there's 4 palettes that we can have, I just keep a cache of all 4 possibilities of each tile. And That's kind of simple. So what do we got here? For int. Oh, this is what I need. Okay, so I want to call it base, but base is a reserved keyword. So I guess offset. Oh no, I'm gonna call it no. Because I've called other things RO for room offset and like EO for enemy offset. So I can just, there we go. This is the name table offset. So equals plus OX 420. And the second one is at byte 421. And that's it. That's the two devices that, or the two bytes that select the tile pages that we can use. So we do that, and then is less than. So there's 64 tiles in each page. There's 4 pages. So here we have a page, and then what comes next? Actually, if I really want to do this fancy, I should do because this is how the MMC3 works. If you're using 2 kilobyte contiguous pages, it ignores the low bit. And then basically you just get 2 pages that are, so this is automatically the even page and this is automatically the odd page. If you select the odd page, if you send it to the register, it automatically breaks it down this way anyway. So I should just do that so that it would match exactly what the data does no matter what. So what have we got here? Right. So we have a function that caches a tile and applies a color to it. So before I get in here, I want two-dimensional array of palettes, and I want this should actually be unsigned int. That's a 32-bit integer, unsigned. That's what all the RGBA colors are going to be. Right. This is just the result of that. And then I guess I should just do this. So do I do it that way? Have I done a multi-dimensional array yet? I forget how this works in C#. Yeah, okay, so I've already dealt with this problem somewhere. Okay. I see. So that's where the number goes. Red 13. Is that what this moon is called? Red 13's theme. Isn't it int x comma y? Well, it's not a two-dimensional array, actually. It's an array of arrays. Actually, this needs to be 8. Palettes I equals new uint. So each of these it contains another array of 4 bytes. I think there probably is a multi-dimensional array thing instead of an array that contains more arrays, but this is more convenient because I can't pass in the multi-direct. The function I have takes a palette, which is just a flat array, and you can't slice up arrays in C# the way you can in C++. Quite so easily. So what am I doing? Okay, for int j equals 0, j is less than 4 plus j. Okay, so finally, palettes ij equals an NES palette color from the ROM NO plus 400 plus I times 4 plus j. There we go. So that retrieves. So this retrieves the NES color index. And actually I need an and 63 in here just to sanitize that. That makes me wonder if I've done that in the map editor. Yes. Do I want to put that on another line? I could. Maybe that's nicer. Oh, except now it's not a one line. So just do that. Equals palette set. Oh, it should be... Doop, doop. There we go. So... it'd be... cur set 0 times 64 tiles. This is going into 0 plus I. So we got to do this 4 times because there's 4 pages of cur to load. Palette 0. There we go. And then there's 4 colors. Maybe the order... Let's say this is the page. That's probably... outside to inside. Doesn't really matter. Okay. So every 256, we're going to repeat for the next color. Every page we need 64, and then every tile. And I think that's it. I think that's it. So that just loads all the tiles. Okay. So I think we need to break this into you know what? I actually use color when it's code. When it's a comment, I use OU. Just because I know I'm going to interface with, like, I don't know, or something. I know it'll be, the Microsoft interface will be American spelling for it, so I always use it in code, but sometimes in comments I use OU. Unless I was like working professionally for a US company or something, then I would definitely just use US spelling everywhere. Depends on the context, I guess. But I try and slip in the OU where I can. And at this point, it's almost unconscious. Not quite, but it's just a habit, so I always do it. But I mean, you know, like programming, you get used to spelling everything the exact way it needs to be spelled, so it never gets to... It's not hard to switch, I guess, is what I'm saying. Because that's all you do when you're programming, is just like switch names for things all the time. So the redraw will just redraw all three things. Or we could redraw... So the palette should never... Well, they should redraw here, but here we don't need to redraw the palettes. But I don't think I'm going to bother being that finicky about the code, because it won't matter. When we're refreshing that much, the caching usually takes the most time. Okay. So I don't know which one to do first. Y is less than 16, plus Y. And we need our... It's the last place we use this code, but just sort of have a standard way to start the draw, and we have this sort of standard way to end it. Oops. What did I pressed build. Pressed Control B instead of Control V. So this is bump tile. Picture tile. Is that what I called it? Height equals 128 times zoom. Zoom is 2. So just putting zoom in here means that I could actually make this resize if I really wanted it to. It's just I'm not going to. But I'm just going to type zoom just to make that almost configurable. Okay. Actually, you know what? Or wait, no. I don't want to do that. Okay. And the last thing is that we need to have a using imaging or something like that. I forget how to do this. Okay, we highlight. Yeah. All right. Oh, you know what? I'm realizing. I want a gray palette here. So I'm gonna actually do a fifth. Now that I want that, now I want all of them. think I want a space here. And instead of that, I want to use the gray palette. And that's for my tile drawing. So we have this 16 by 16 grid. Draw, or no, it's split. Probably should have called it draw, but whatever. D. Here's our cached data. So the tile is x plus y times 16. Plus 256 times 4. That selects the color. X times 8. Y times 8. And zoom automatically gets multiplied by that. Oops. And that actually, so we should have a tile set now that renders. Okay, those are warnings. Oh, what's this? Oh, I forgot a BMP. Get rid of this properties so I can see more of the line here. Alright. Name T does not... Name T? Oh. It's a Y. So, here we have nothing. Ooh, that's curious. So, we're redrawing, right? Oh, why is that down by 1? So redraw tiles isn't firing. Is redraw... Oh! Okay. Yeah, I wanted to look at the designer. I don't need that anymore. There we go. Didn't realize it had become unaligned. So those warnings will go away in a moment, but for now, we're just gonna crash because I've Oh, I never allocated my cache. That's funny. So, where am I? Name table. There we are. Equals new int. So we have 256 tiles times 5 pages times 64 bytes a tile. And it's uint, not int. There we go. So this should now... Okay, I've messed up the indexing, but that's promising. X plus y times 16. Maybe I messed it up here. IJ. Well, so it's gray. That's curious. I'm going to briefly move on from this. I'm not sure what I messed up there, but let's just write the name table code. We'll just quickly replace. How can I never find this? Find and replace. The top. Quick replace. The till with beamt. So y goes up to 30. X goes to 32 now. So here we decode an NES name table. So this comes with 2 bytes that I need to pay attention to. We have the tile. So this one's easy to find. This is in the ROM. Y times 32 plus X, like it's 1 byte per tile. The attribute is let me think. So it starts at 64 bytes from the end of the name table. So that's 3C0. And then we want to divide X by 4. And then we want to divide Y by 4. You know, I'm just going to put /4. I'm going to call this RA because it's not the, there's 4, so the palette selector for a tile, there's 4 packed into 1 byte, and each of those 4 corresponds to a 2x2 area of tiles, so there's a lot of unpacking to do here, but so it's 8 bytes per row because it's 32 tiles long, but it's 4 tiles per byte. So that's why the Y value is times 8. And then I might as well just make this an int, it doesn't matter. A equals, this is the part I can't keep in my head. But this is why we have reference to look up. So each attribute somebody been editing this? I guess not. Looks like it's not significantly changed since the last time I edited it, so what am I... Is there a page for attributes that I'm looking for? Here we are. Okay. There was a separate page. This should probably be merged. Oh, I didn't remember that this example was added here. But this is it. Okay. So top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. So we want to right shift by 2 times X, and we want to right shift by 4 times Y, but Y divided by 2 because it's packed in 16 by 16 instead of 8 by 8. Okay. RA right shift by X X and 2. So we're either right shifting by 2 bits or 0 bits for the X. Because bottom left is in the 0 position, right? Top left. Okay. And then we want Y. We also want Y by 2, but multiplied by 2. So we shift it up 1. So we multiply it by 2 and then take the second bit. I think that's it. And then finally we mask off just the bits we need. There we go. So T plus 256 times A. So A is our palette to use, and T is our tile. That should be it. So that should be a name table renderer. Not getting anything. So that's curious. Oh. I don't know why that's red. Ha! Okay, so that's not good, but it's something. At this point, I'm not sure I even have the right name table address. So let's just verify that for a moment. I don't. That should be an E, not 3. I mix up 3 and E a lot. That's funny. Well, that's not showing anything. You can't get over how horrible the jumping in combat? I don't mind them. They do get some getting used to. Faxanadu. Okay, you're talking about Faxanadu. Actually, Faxanadu has... I would say it has a similar feel to Legacy of the Wizard, actually. But sort of shaped a little different. So I said 20,000. I should really have said 1B,000 or something. But I'm curious. Brainlord. I've heard of that. I don't think I've played it, but I think I've seen someone play it. I remember ads for it in magazines. I thought it looked cool, but... Was that an SNES game? Brainlord. Yeah. Oh yeah, it had that cool floating castle title screen with the weird lettering that looked like a embossed metal western thing. I don't know. I guess it was sort of like a gauntlet puzzle RPG kind of thing. It's funny, I see screenshots differently now than I did when I was a kid. Like, when I was a kid, like, there were lots of, like, really flashy looking games in screenshots, and that was generally how you would see them. You'd see pictures in magazines, and you'd see pictures on the box, and, like, that's what you had to go by when you bought the game. But now I see screenshots and I think, well, especially after the experience of playing a lot of crummy games that I had, you know, drooled over the screenshots and then find out, oh, they put all their money into graphics and nobody there knew how to make a fun game. And that happened a lot. So now I kind of look at screenshots. So I see, like, kind of gauntlet-y screenshots. I'm like, that might be fun to play. Like, the graphics don't really stand out to me, but the layout immediately says, you know, gauntlet and sort of puzzling, and I don't know, that seems kind of appealing. So to me, the screenshots are kind of appealing in a way, I guess. At least that I'm seeing here. Or maybe I should just drag this, hang on. So I'm not, like, talking into a vacuum about something I'm looking at, but I just, like, looked up Brainlord, and here's some images that came up in Google Image Search, and that looks appealing to me. I might put it on my list of games to investigate, maybe stream. Because it does actually look kind of neat to me. Like this. But this is the poster or whatever box art I was referring to. It has some, like, weird look to it. Floating castle, lightning, purple sky. Oh. Anyway, what was I up to? So, I bet it's actually EC9. I bet D9 was the actual offset in the file. Ooh, okay. That looks like an improvement. I'm caching it wrong. Now I know that now that I have the name table there, I can see actually, like, part of what should be the title that says Legacy of the Wizard. And I know I'm caching it wrong. So my cache code must have a bug. Which is funny because I looked at it first and I was like, nah, that's fine. So there it is. I need a plus J. And then I didn't fix the last one. Let's try that. Okay. So, title screen viewer. Bam! There it is. Now it works. So now we can see it. I need to add palettes here. And then we start letting you edit it. That's the next step. But first step accomplished. We got the title screen rendering. Japanese box art? Oh, that's very different. So let me just throw that in here. So this is the Japanese box, I guess. That kind of clothing is reminiscent of, like, the Final Fantasy Yoshitaka Amano kind of designs. But yeah, a lot of games had different very different Western art and Japanese release art. Actually, I want to show you for a moment. Legacy of the Wizard. Here. To bring this in here. There's this Boot Gods database, the NES cart database. It's a great place to look up cartridges if you want to know what hardware is in them. It has a good list, but it also has pictures of the boards and of the cartridges. So here is Legacy of the Wizard as it came out in the West. But Japanese Dragon Slayer 4. It's a screenshot of the castle from the beginning of the game with the boy just kind of like superimposed on top, and there's the logo. It's very cut and paste. It's very cute. It feels very quickly made. I was actually surprised to see this, because oftentimes like the Japanese art is like finely made, and then you have like, you know, Mega Man. You know, I think everyone's seen this, but like usually, you know, here's appealing cartoon characters. I wouldn't say this has the greatest design, but it's a lot better than what we got in the West, you know. But yeah, so with Dragon Slayer 4, that's the one that looks like a bootleg, I guess. I don't know, it's just kind of funny. But it's funny because, like, there are so many Dragon Slayer games. Like, this is the fourth one in the series. Legacy of the Wizard was the first one that came out here. And then Faxanadu is a sequel to Dragon Slayer 2, which had like its own set of sequels. I think there's like 3 or 4 games in that series. And there's a whole bunch of ports and remakes of all of them. But Atari title font? I'm not sure I know what you're referring to. So I would say that actually, I can show you. Okay, so now I got this editing properly. I can actually throw in the Dragon Slayer 4 ROM and show you that title screen, because the editor's working. The data has different stuff in here, but they had this nice logo and stuff, which was cool. It was still just kind of this plain brick kind of background. But it's a bit nicer as a title screen, I think, than and here's the Western one. But I don't know. The bricks make me feel very Broderbund because of Lode Runner, you know? It had the bricks. It's just a funny thing to use for your title screen. The screenshot and the boy. Oh yeah, the Dragon Slayer lettering. Oh, yeah, like they did put a lot of work into that logo. I thought it was... Do I still have it up? It's interesting that they have this line here, like they're trying to make it look like it's stamped and creased or something. It's a very interesting kind of... let's bring this back. Like that's in the game art, so they have this like line, like there's a fold in the metal or something, you know? And it's kind of neat. And yeah, so it's shaped like a dragon. It's got these banner edges sticking out. And is it just supposed to be a reflection? Maybe. It could be that. That makes sense too. So you're viewing this title screen from an endless landscape, green sky and blue ocean or something. I don't know. But that's definitely, I think that's much nicer. But anyhow, I think it's important to have a title screen editor for a ROM hacking tool because you should let people know it's a ROM hack on the title screen. Like that should be available. Okay, so we've got this rendering. I'll be back in a moment. But I'll be back, and then we'll fill in the palette. We need to show the palette. And then we'll start working on getting this into an editing state. Alright, I'm back. Squeezed in the font. I would say this is evidence of doing it by hand. I don't think a tool would do this. Usually a tool will do something kind of like in order of tile appearance. So you wouldn't have these arranged. You wouldn't have like big viewable pieces of the thing available in the tile set. It would just be a jumble. Like you'd have the brick tile probably first, and then you'd have maybe a couple of these. So you'd have this kind of packed into the top left, and then the next line would start like right here in the middle. But instead you have like the brick is here. You have like, it's like this was drawn and then they were like, oh, this is the same as that, so we can delete it. And this is the same as that, so we can delete it. And, you know, they worked from there. That's what it looks like to me. That looks hand-packed. And it looks almost like they just tried to draw this. And then, maybe the bricks and the text were an afterthought. I'm actually made myself a little sandwich. I've been watching Chinese Hulk streamer. He has a bot command for crisp sandwich. He's from Ireland, so crisp means potato chip. So it's a sandwich with potato chips. Well, his version is potato chips and butter. I've substituted cream cheese for butter. But so it's cream cheese and potato chips in a sandwich. And potato chips did not sound like they would make a sandwich, but with cream cheese is pretty good compliment. Adds a nice crunch. I'm surprised. I like it more than I thought I would. Sorry if it's making crunchy noises on the mic. Should probably mute before eating. Sorry. Okay, I've been muted for a few minutes. I was saying, okay, so I'm adding another row to this because I know I need at least one button for the dragon boss. So that's fine, but I might as well put in a button for the unused screen since I'll have space for it, I guess. Button dragon. And then we once we dock it, it fills the space of that thing. We'll get to that in a moment. Back to the toolbox, we want one here. Why can't I select my global button here? Oh, I have to undock it to move it. That's funny. I always forget that. So once again, okay, so button, unused screen. Oops. And then dock. Okay. So both of these, I'll put them up here. Where's my... oh, title screen click. Well, I might as well put this one under the title screen since... what we want. .7 BDA. So, that's just a really quick addition. I don't think that's really how I want to do it, but that's interesting. That looks different than it did. I got that wrong. It's gonna be CA. There. That's more like what I expected. Because this looks the same, well, different tile set, but kind of similar data to what we had in the other one that I showed earlier. But that's that, yeah, there it is again. That's that unused screen data, which looks like title screen they were working on at some point, but got rid of, I guess. It feels like Dragon Slayer. This looks like space for an S, and this looks like space for a D. And maybe they still had Draw as Live Family, or maybe this was just a dragon or something. Who knows? I wonder what Dragon Slayer 3 looked like. Oh, Dragon Slayer was Dragon Slayer Junior. Dragon Slayer 3 was Dragon Slayer Junior, I think. Yeah, Romancia. Just wondering what that title screen looks like. Maybe they were continuing on from whatever they had for this. Here's MSX. Oh no, this is very special. Okay, well that's very different. Well, there's Xanadu. So it doesn't look quite like that. What's this here? Romancia. Oh, okay. So there's a different one. Is this from a different version? The attributes feel like it must be MSX or something. Oh, ROM hack. Oh yeah, Dragon Slayer 2 was like really reminiscent of Zeliard. I forget if Zeliard came later. Probably did. But it had a separate like encounter screen. So elements of what became Legacy of the Wizard. Legacy of the Wizard is much more kind of tight, I guess. Like it just has kind of more one mode of action where everything takes place. And they went for all those kind of more realistic looking portraits of shopkeepers and all these people. But you can see sort of how Faxanadu came out of it. As a sequel to that. Anyway, so that's fine. I just wanted a button for that. I've got to unenable that for the time being, but also leaves me with an extra button slot that I don't know what to do with. I don't know. So I'll probably move this around a bit later, but let's add I guess we'll have dragon. This one I need to rename to global. So all these are enabled, not enabled by default. So, I think what I need to do is make the... Because I only want one of these at a time. I don't really want to deal with separate thing. Like, this is meant to be a one-off. So I could make this more complicated to decide, am I this screen or that screen? But I think what I really want to do is... I'll make that public so that I can check it. So we'll just close it if it's not. Just do that, and then So I'll close it and reopen it if it's not the right one. I think that's maybe the most sensible thing here. So we'll have... Oh no, I broke it. Oh, I broke them both. Oh, I have a 16 plus. Back to doing that. Title screen, okay. So if I click unused screen, it closes it, opens another one. And then there, it's back. I think that's fine. You don't really need to edit this anyway, it's not... This is just here to inspect, because I'm curious about it. So... Oh, and also... Yeah. Unused screen enabled equals ROM length plus OX1. I have an extra 0 in there. And then Dragon tool strip menu item. There we go. So one more button. We've got this empty space. I don't know if there's a way to do a row span too or something like that. Wait. Okay, so we can set it. Can we do that in the, I'm curious about this now. So I really should get back to, So if I put this here, and then dock it, and then let's look at our collection of rows. Use the row span. Okay, so there's a row span. Ah, wait. Oh, that's where it is. It's on the control that's docked inside it. Well, there we go. Now that's nice. Now I have a nice big button for global. Okay, that's acceptable for now. Let's see. So, that's did I get that wrong? Oh. Unused. Yeah. There we go. There we go. So now that's all in there. I think I should put unused screen under title screen. There we go. So, let's get back to this. Redraw the palettes for so what's my size? 64? 64. So I'm realizing I actually need one more page for the selected tile. Where did I put the... Here it is. Times 6. There we go. So we need to cache one more. So there we go. We have the highlighted tile color, which is sort of a pink. What am I missing here? Refresh. Oh. I want to use this as an example of how to draw it. Right. Okay, so close all but this and then reopen name table, get rid of the properties. Okay. Wait, hang on. This is... Cosmo Canyon. Never know what I should have open. Maybe my OBS, whatever. Okay. So, where are we? Redraw palettes. So... here we replace btil with bpal. Width divided by So we have 8 pallets to draw. And then... Okay, so that's the position of this current pallet box. And we draw a box. Px plus j times pw py width and height, pallets, ij. Okay. So that should draw them all. If I equals so we'll, for pal select, we'll draw a box to do that. So select. Guess we'll copy these, I don't know. I want to put those in main now because I've got a bunch of other colors in main. Wait, where's highlight? Oh, I see. So, black. Yeah, that way I can make them consistent more easily. Px, py, pw times 4 minus 1, ph minus 1, main pal outer. Then we have +1, +1, -3, -3. Oh no, it's not inclusive. So Just -2. Alright. So we've put it in the wrong picture box, but there's our palette. Looks good. Looks selected to me. Just want to make sure black was... Select was outer, black was inner. And now black is inner. Okay. Just making sure I wasn't flipping my design by accident. Not that it wouldn't work either way. Okay, I don't need this note anymore. That's just my note of where the name tables were. Okay, so what have we got? We got a palette. Oh, so this just goes to picture palette. So there we go. That should be in the correct box now. There it is. There's our palette. There's a whole set of colors they're not even using here. Got this for the Legacy of the Wizard, we've got this for the bricks, and this for the text is barely doing anything there. These are all for sprites. There's actually a push start sprite on the actual title screen. Here we can just run the title screen so we can see it. So there's push start, they animate this color. But not really much more to this than you can already see. It's funny, you can barely see that color against the white. So, what do we do first? So, we're displaying everything. Next thing is editing. Oh, also, when drawing the tiles, if, there we go. So now, we should have, there we are. We've got our highlighted tile. Okay. So now what we do is going to be similar to the... I think the meta tile editor is going to be the closest to what we've got here. So, I guess do the name table first. Oh, we don't need this. So, we do a mouse down. Oh. I think I need to make Zoom a global thing. Okay. If E mouse button or E button P ROM, we will start a ROM modification. So that just sets an undo point. We'll comment that. And then we're just going to pass this on to picture box mouse move. So, divided by 8 times zoom. If tx less than 0 or tx more than 2, we don't need that. So at this point we want to fetch from the ROM, so we can reuse this logic here. But I also want to I'm gonna see if I called it that in other things. Is it always called? Yeah, okay. Just making sure I'm not calling it tips. So just a little context sensitive clue there. Just want to see that I draw, pick tiles. Okay, so that's consistent with how I've been describing it. Okay. So we've got our attribute. Oh. We want export image, export name table, import name table. Okay, anyway. Text, or no string format. Okay, so do we want to use hexadecimal numbers or I think I'll just use decimal numbers. And then this is a hexadecimal. And then this doesn't matter because it's 0 to 3. X, Y, T, A. Draw, else, if, E button. It's the right mouse button we can pick up. Tile select equals T. So there we go. Now we can select a tile. Here we can draw a tile. So this piece of paper. Okay, so let me just write down a few things we need to do. Import, export nametail. Save image. Do I really want to save the image? I think I'll skip that one here because there's no zoom control. So you can't get a pixel-to-pixel image, and it's not editable anyway. Not hugely important. But exporting nametable, that's useful. Maybe I should import, export CHR as well. I did that earlier. It wasn't a lot of code. It would let you use the NES screen tool. So maybe if I just let you do all three. Oh. So yeah, basically we need to just do that. Okay, so if modify int mask equals so we'll have a mask where we want to kind of do the opposite of what we did before. So xan2 or just take this. What just happened? MS. So our new A is equal to byte what do we want? We want the old one and with the opposite of MS, no, 3 MS, right? And then, so that clears the bits that the attributes are in, and then that gives us a hole to slip the attributes into. Okay, there we go. So, if we modify so we can just do this. Modify okay, so I need to why am I calling it MS? It's the attribute shift. So let's go with AS. Int name table address equals And attribute of address equals... There we go. I'm gonna go with byte there. Why can't, Oh, as is a keyword, isn't it? Well, I will go back to calling it MS. TY instead of... There. This is just complaining that it's not a byte. Because I'm shifting with an int, whatever. Alright. So, name table address, T true or pending. So it all becomes one undo group. Attribute address, here's the attribute. If changed, redraw name table. And that should be it. That should be a functional... Oop. Name table box. Oh, so this was TY, TXTY. So let's look at this. We can select different tiles. So let's select, I don't know, this. And now we can draw it in I feel like we're not updating the attribute. So the attribute isn't updating. Oh. Yeah, so that might be as well be an int. There we go. Yeah, we weren't getting the palette select in there. Okay, so there we go. There we go. Now the attributes are taking effect here. I forgot the Yahoo. So there we go. We can draw on the title screen. Undo works. We can see what's under the thing. We don't have to select it. Okay. So that's step one. That's working. I think I want a grid option here. Just want to make a dimmer grid. For secondary grid. So we'll give that Control G. And then grid equals not grid. Grid tool strip menu item checked. And what's the third thing? Redraw. Okay. Let's just add a little grid in here. Less than 30 plus y for int main actually each of these is going to be a separate thing. Okay, so draw so the y is changing, which means this is horizontal lines. D0 y times 8 width main grid 2. So this is the subgrid. And then we do the x subgrid. X times 8 y height, and it's a vertical line. Then we do the same thing. But grid 1 and starting on 0. Okay, so that should be a functional grid. Oh, y should be 0. So, this should just give us a quick grid. That did not work. Right, it's 8 times zoom. Title screen. So, bang. Okay, now there's a grid. It's not the greatest grid, but it's good enough. It'll help us see why when we click here we get green on all 4. Okay, so this can move around freely. That's all good. Okay, palette select. Let's do that next. Okay. Um, kind of curious what I did in the meta tile editor. So let's get into a map here. Oh, right mouse button to edit. Okay. So the tip is just so equals P divided by, or no. Let me see. So that's the palette that I've selected. Equals py times 4 plus 8. And then you have your sub palette. So px, basically that. But then modulo 4. There, that's my address in the ROM of the byte that I'm looking at. So byte v equals mp ROM a. String format this is a hexadecimal palette. Okay. And then it's just PCV. No? Oh, text. So here we fetch it. If, skip if we're out of bounds. If the buttons, so if we're pressing the left mouse button, then if pal select does not equal P, then we'll redraw. How did that get deleted? Okay. Right mouse button doesn't respond. This, what? Oh, E button? We don't have a redraw palette? Oh. But we have another thing, so we need to redo this logic here before we pass it on. How did I do it here? No, it was in map edit tile. Put a mouse down. So yeah, that's pretty much what I had before. New tile. Oh right, because it's a combined tile palette. Right, that's fine. Yeah, so something like this. But we'll just so we don't need that. Byte old equals palette pick P. Oops. PP show dialog. Byte new P. A. Yeah, we've got to cache and redraw. So that should do it. Okay. So step one, can we... Nope. Wow. Nothing works. So we're not even seeing the status bar updates. So that suggests that oh, okay. What are we getting here? P1. Oh, I have this logic backwards. Well, that's why I had bounds checking there. And I know division and multiply is supposed to happen with the same precedence, but just to keep it clear, crystal clear. There we go. So we go back. Oh, I have a breakpoint still. Okay, so that's not working. A equals. Oh. No, not 3CO. 400. There we go. So we're reading the wrong data there. Okay, so here we are. These look good. That's not correct. 1C, 1E. Okay, so somehow we got it right with our palette draw. 400. That should be correct. So here when we grab the palettes, offset plus 400 plus palette plus color in palette. Somehow I'm messing this up. Let's make sure the palette numbers are correct. So we should be palette 0. That says 80. 12-0. This should say 00102030. So P is all messed up. +8? Wow, that's a weird one. No, PX. Okay. So what do we got? 20. Yeah, okay. So now we should be able to change the color of the bricks. Okay. That's cool. Let's make a purple highlight just so we can see what we're doing. So I wonder if changing this color will do anything. We'll see. And let's draw over here and over here and maybe a little bit over here. So right now we're just seeing if this works. So save and run. I think this looks like the title screen we made. It does a thing where it kind of wraps the top to the bottom, but that's You actually don't see that in the game. That worked. So the last thing I need is the tile picker. It does look like it changed the color. So I could make this green. Edit, and it flashes green instead. That's nice that happens. Okay, well. Title screen editor is almost finished. Okay, just undo all my changes. Or we can just revert to opened. There we go. And then oh, okay. So here we wanted to take a page from what's it called? From the metatile thing. Actually, I should look at my metatile editor again and just see how do things look. Okay, so I just show the tile. I don't make an effort to... Okay. So I'll just do the same thing here. Hang on, the metatile editor is... Oh, that's why I made it. Alright, okay, never mind. No, you can just edit that elsewhere. I won't bother. Okay. So... This is no problem. TX more than 16. Return. If E button equals mouse buttons left, then tile select equals T TX plus TY times 16. If tile select redraw tiles. So we get a new highlight. And then status label text equals string format, string fromage, 0x2, so it's hexadecimal. That's our tile. I always put buttons instead of button. I always forget these forms don't know anything about buttons. They only know about a single button. Okay, so we need to duplicate this, or no, actually, equals times 2 divided by so here we might select a new cur. Otherwise, go down to the mouse move. All right, so this has a example for that. Here we are. Basically exactly what we're doing right now. Cur select MP true. Reselect. All right. All right. So now we need to set the cur if rom mp rom modify. So it'd be no plus 420 plus c byte. It's the highlight value. It's a single step, so we can undo it. And if it is a modify, we cache and redraw. And that's it. That's almost the whole thing. Okay, so we have our title screen. If we want, we can make it load. Like we could use this. I don't know if that, well, it could be useful, but let's test if that worked. Yep. Yep. Exactly what I, okay. Yep. And we can undo this. Okay. No problem. This is a problem, because can't select those. But otherwise, all three of these controls are... So now, the only thing I want to do is put in some import exports here. Imports and exports. I think I want to revert to opened, and then I want to save it. Okay. And P is less than 4. Okay. So that's done. So the thing I wanted to test with this was like, what happens if we put, you know, other things in here? Like there is a font set somewhere. What if we throw this in there? What do we get? No, we don't get words. This almost looks like it should be a word though. So H is clearly a space. I-O-U 1 BH. I don't know. Who knows? So this was definitely, like, these are spans. The letters make it obvious that these are like contiguous spans. So this is still a contiguous span, so is this, VWXYZ. So the only thing that's suspicious is this. So that's kind of like a weird... So that could have been a word, but who knows? I don't know. All right, so let's just finish this up. So we're almost done here. So I need more actions. Import name table. Or wait, no, export name table. Do I want import first? I'm gonna say nmt. I'm gonna call these and we'll just put some import nam, export nam, export Import PAL. Alright. So we got names for all of them. And I just want to NCP I don't know. I'm going to put these on I, M, and P. It's kind of an impossible problem to choose an intuitive letter for both sets when they're both named like this, but the point is I just want to have you could keyboard it if you wanted to. So I like to have keyboards for every single menu item, just in case you're stuck in a loop where you're doing something repetitively. Okay. So we have some good import code already. Oh, I'm realizing what a drag this will probably be. Be a fair amount of code. So let's just see what this looks like. Okay, so I need to trying to decide if I really want to do this. I'm not. I don't want to do it. This is unnecessary. Nobody will need this. So I'm going to delete this one. And this one, because we can export the CHR elsewhere in the thing, but I'm going to leave import and export NAM. Because those are both useful. And Okay. MP ROM. Okay. Or import error, image save error. Yeah, I got it elsewhere. Oh. Oh. It's funny how you have save file dialog, but you don't have file. Okay. So the last thing is the import. Let's see our import cur code. So this code should also be similarly inoffensively small. Okay. Name tagable. NAM. Oh, I don't know, doing with them all capitals. Why did I... Okay, image save error. Error. Oops. I don't know why I was inconsistent, but if I knew why, I wouldn't have done it, I guess. Back here. Okay. So... There we go. That should actually do it. Oh, and also I just realized. So now this gives more sensible shortcuttings. It should be on the E. There we go. So now I can do that. And then 14, 15, 16, or sorry, 1 C, D, E. I'm realizing, okay, so I don't need to close that, but should find the, I see. So we'll just export this. So that we have it. And the whole point here was that we could use a generic name table editor now. So patterns, we can load these. Okay. And then we can open name table. There it is. Let's just do a really simple change here. Let's misspell that again. And we'll just save as binary. And we'll just see that we can load the same changes back in here. That way we can use the other editor. So here, so this might be fun. We'll just we'll put that there temporarily. And I want to shift this wizard over to here. See, this way I don't have to write a tool. There's already a tool. So I'll just throw that back out. So we've done that. We just want to fix the attributes here. And then at the same time, we'll look for the CHR here. I don't need this right now. And we'll just tweak it to get rid of the that hanging part of the E there. Right here. Just slide that out. Let's just check to see. Oh, yep. This gets updated in real time. That's cool. Okay. So we had Wizard Legacy of the that's right here. Okay. Get rid of that hanging W. That's the next character. Let's give it a curve or something. So it just looks a little less weird. What if we made this an N? Just for no reason. This makes no sense, but let's do it. Okay, I'm gonna save that. And I realize there's one more thing I want. I want to hold Shift to write only attributes. Okay, so chip. Show me the properties. Let me see my code. So if not, oh, how do I do shift? There's like a modifiers. Control somewhere. Hide the stupid designer stuff. Modifier keys has flags key control. That's it there. It's kind of a global thing, but so the reason I wanted that is because when you want to recolor stuff, you don't want to change the tiles. It's a big hassle. How many letters do we have? We have a K. We don't. We don't have a K, that's funny, but I could add one. I mean, this could be a K. Nobody has to know. Is that not the letter? Did I... Oh, right, these are the wrong colors. What does the K look like in this font set? I don't even know. Just get rid of this. A passable fake. I don't know. K is always a difficult letter to do in pixel fonts, I think. I'm gonna go with that. I think it really complements the funk. Let's change these colors. Come on. There. This is our fake title screen. All right. Just save a screenshot of that for later. So there we go. Name title editor. It's complete. So I think I'm done for this stream.